Oh, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Now today's Bhagavatam class we will start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatta Jayamudiret नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी. हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम. Today we completing this chapter Bhakti Yoga. Srimad Bhagwatam Canto 11, chapter 29 Bhakti Yoga, shloka from 37 to 49. Sri Uddhav Uvacha विद्रावित मोह अंधकारः यः आश्रितः मे तव सन्निधानात् विभावसो किं नु समीपगस्य शीतं तमाभि प्रभवन्ति त्यज्य आद्य प्रत्यर्पित मे भवता अनुकंपिना वृत्ताय विज्ञानमय प्रदीपः हेत्वा कृतज्ञः तव पादमूल कः अन्यं समीयात् शरणं त्वदीयम्. कृणः च मे सुदृढः स्नेहपाशः दाशारवृष्णि अन्धकसात्पतेषु प्रसारित सृष्टिविवृद्धे त्वया स्वमायया हि आत्मसुबोधहेतिना नमस्तु ते महायोगिन् प्रपन्नम् अनुषादि मां यथा त्वच्चरण अम्भोजे रति स्यात् अनपायिनी. श्री भगवान उवाच गच्छ उद्धव मया आदिष्टः बदरी आख्यं मम आश्रमं तत्र मत्पाद तीर्थ उदे स्नान उपस्पर्शने शुचिः इक्षया अलकनन्दाया विदुता अशेष कल्मषः वसाण वल्कलाणि अंग वन्यभूक सुख निस्पृह तितिक्षुः द्वन्द्व मात्राणां सुशीलः संयत इंद्रियः शांत समाहित धिया ज्ञान विज्ञान संयुत मत्त अनुशिक्षितं यत्ते विविक्तम् अनुभावयन् मयि आवेशित वाक्चित्तः मद्धर्म निरतः भव अतिव्रज गति हि तिस्र माम एष्यसि ततः परम्. श्री शुक उवाच स एवं उक्त हरिमेधसा उद्धव प्रदक्षिणं तं परिसुत्य पादयोः शीरः निधाय अश्रुकुलाभिः आर्तधीः नशिच्छन्द द्वन्द्व अपरः अपि अपक्रमे दुस्तज स्नेह वियोग कातरः न शक्नुवत् तं परिहातुम् आतुरः. कृच्छ्रं ययौ मूर्धनि भर्तु पादुके विभ्रत नमस्कृत्य ययौ पुनः पुनः. ततः तम् अंतर्हृदि सन्निवेश्य गतम भागवत विशालं यथा उपदिष्टां जगत एकबन्धुना तपसमास्ताय हरे अगाधगतिं यः एतत् आनंद समुद्र संवृत्तं ज्ञान अमृतं भागवताय भाषितं कृष्णेन योग ईश्वर सेवितंग्रीना सत्श्रद्धया असव्य जगत विमुच्यते. भवभय अपहंतुं ज्ञान विज्ञान सारं निगम कृत उपजुवे भृंगवत वेदसारम् अमृतमुदधीतः च अपपायत वृत्यवर्गान् पुरुषं ऋषभम् आदायं कृष्ण संवयनत अस्मि. ट्रांसलेशन एंड purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Uddhava said, O unborn primeval Lord, Although I had fallen into the great darkness of illusion, my ignorance has now been dispelled by your merciful association. Indeed, how can cold, darkness, and fear exert their power over one who has approached the brilliant sun? In return for my insignificant surrender, you have mercifully bestowed upon me, your servant, uh, the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Therefore, what devotee of yours who has any gratitude could ever give up your lotus feet and take shelter of another master? The firmly binding rope of my affection for the families of Dasharas, Vrishnis, Andakas, and Satyatas, a rope you originally cast over me by your illusory energy for the purpose of developing your creation, is now cut off by the weapon of transcendental knowledge of the self. Obeisance unto you. O greatest of yogis, please instruct me, whom am surrender unto you, how I may have undeviating attachment to your lotus feet. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, take my order and go to my ashrama called Badrika. Purify yourself by both touching and also bathing in the holy waters there, which have emanated from my lotus feet. Read yourself of rid yourself of all sinful reactions with the sight of sacred Alaknanda river. Dress yourself in bark and eat whatever is naturally available in the forest. Thus you should remain content and free from desire, tolerant of all dualities, good natured, self-controlled, peaceful, and endued with transcendental knowledge and realization. With fixed attention, meditate constantly upon this instruction I have imparted to you and assimilate their essence. Fix your words and thought upon me, and always endeavor to increase your realization of my transcendental qualities. In this way, you will cross beyond the destination of the three modes of nature and finally come back to me. Shukdev Goswami said, thus addressed by Lord Krishna, whose intelligence destroys all the suffering of material life. Sri Uddhava circumambulated the Lord and then fell down, placing his head upon the Lord's feet. Although Uddhava was free from the influence of all material dualities, his heart was breaking, and at this time of departure, he drenched the Lord's lotus feet with his tears, greatly fearing separation from him for whom he felt such indestructible affection. Uddhava was distraught and he could not give up the Lord's company. Finally, feeling great pain, he bowed down to the Lord again and again, placed the slippers of his master upon his head. He departed and departed. Thereupon, placing the Lord deeply within his heart, the great devotee Uddhava went to Badrikashram. By engaging there in austerities, he attained to the Lord's personal abode, which had been described to him by the only friend of the universe, Lord Krishna himself. Thus, Lord Krishna, whose lotus feet are sought by all great yogas, Master spoke to his devotee this nectarian knowledge, which comprises the entire ocean of spiritual bliss. Anyone within this universe who receives this narration with great faith is assured of liberation. I offer my obeisance to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original and greatest of all beings, Lord Sri Krishna. He is the author of the Vedas, and just to destroy his devotees' fear of material existence. Like a bee, he has collected this nectar essence of all knowledge and self-realization. Thus, he has awarded to his many devotees his nectar, the ocean of bliss, and by his mercy, they have drunk it. Purport with the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although Sri Uddhava feared separation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he now understands that in a fundamental sense, the Lord is everything. Krishna consciousness can never be created or diminished for one who has taken full shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Although the members of the families mentioned in this verse are eternal associates of Lord Krishna and thus proper objects of affection, Sri Uddhava had regarded them as his personal relatives rather than simply as pure devotees of the Lord. Influenced by the Lord's illusory potency, Uddhava had desired the propensity and victory of these dynasties. But now, by hearing Lord Krishna's instruction, he has again fixed his mind exclusively upon Lord Krishna, and thus he regards his so-called family members without any mundane conception as eternal servants of the Lord. According to the Srimad Bhagwatam 3.4.5, while Uddhava was en route to Badrikashram, he heard about the Lord's journey to Prabhasa. Turning back and following Lord Krishna from behind, he saw the Lord alone just after the withdrawal of the Yadu dynasty. After being again mercifully instructed by the personality of Godhead, along with Maitreya, who had just arrived, Uddhava felt his knowledge of the truth reawakened, and then by the order of the Lord, he went on his way. Sri Uddhava returned to Dwarka in the spiritual sky, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Just as a bee extracts nectar from a flower without harming the flower, Lord Sri Krishna extracts the essence of all Vedic knowledge without disturbing the elaborate system of Vedic advancement. In other words, Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna establishes himself as the goal of Vedic knowledge without destroying preliminary inferior processes that may be applicable to grossly materialistic men. Sri Shukdev Goswami thus concludes by offering his obeisance to the spiritual master of the entire universe, Lord Sri Krishna. Thus end the purport of the Srimad Bhagwatam. His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 11th and 29th chapter of the Srimad Bhagwatam entitled Bhakti Yoga. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvecha Krupa Sindhuvecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Now today we completing chapter 29 Bhakti Yoga of Srimad Bhagwatam Canto 11. From we try to understand from the shloka number 37 to 49. In this chapter we understand about the Bhakti Yoga, how is the Bhakti Yoga most important than any other means. Here, Uddhava told when Lord Krishna asking him about his illusion, uh, is his illusion uh, diminish or not? If he is in confusion, then Swayam self, Lord Krishna again ready to tell about some Bhakti Yoga. And that answer Sri Uddhava giving in this uh, shloka from 37 to 40. And then Sri Bhagwan again told Uddhava something. And conclusion in Sri Shukdev said about this chapter, how the Uddhava circumulated him, and then according to the instructions, he went to the uh, Badrikashram. There he doing tapasya, and he wander here and there, which available roots and fruits he eat, and he doing the tapasya and completed his life according to the instruction of the uh, Lord Krishna, that here describe in. And Prabhuji will told you in detail. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Mancha kalpatarubhecha कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम.
Hey Krishna, Dandatunam Mataji. So basically, we have already seen how Krishna has already instructed to Uddhava that he should come back at the earliest. And it was just because Krishna had asked him to go back, and Uddhava wanted clarity about how Bhakti Yoga is the best. That is why he inquired and he raised all these questions. And Krishna, for the benefit of us, has answered all of them one by one. And that is how we have received this topmost of knowledge, topmost of mechanism by which we can go back home, back to Godhead. So if we have not learned to see the presence of God in all creatures, we'll continue to use our body, mind, speech to worship the Lord in that manner of offering full obeisances to all. Now, this eternal process of devotional service is transcendental. It has been established by Lord Himself, and so not even to the slightest extent it is ever defeated or proved fruitless. When we offer ourselves completely to Lord with exclusive devotion, the Lord becomes particularly pleased, and thus the devotee achieves immortality, being qualified to obtain opulence equal to that of the Lord. So Uddhava received all these instructions. He went to Badrikashram, as Mataji has said, and carried out the instructions, and thus achieved the transcendental level. So what his whole point means is that if we are able to faithfully serve the instructions spoken by Krishna to Uddhava, then even we, the whole world, can become literate. And so it is important that we revise all of these aspects one by one as we come to the conclusion of this chapter. So we see that Uddhava, he had become overwhelmed with love because he was extremely grateful to Krishna. And so he had bowed down that Lord Lotus feet with his head and with folded hands. He steadied his mind and spoke to Krishna, again calling him, O unborn, primeval Lord. So this was like a reiteration for us to understand that Krishna is Anadir Adir Govinda. And then Uddhava explains that he had fallen into the great darkness of illusion. But then his ignorance was dispelled by Krishna's merciful association. So the second point for us to understand is, let us accept our position as it is today. We are definitely into illusion. We are in the Andatama part because of our ignorance. So what we need to do is get the merciful association of Krishna. And Krishna is going to be merciful when you are following his instructions. So what it means is we have to be in association of devotees, get mercy of devotees, then we'll get mercy of Guru Maharaj, then we'll get mercy of the Parampara, then we'll get mercy of Radharani, and then we'll get mercy of Krishna. So it all starts with association of the devotees. And once that is done, then there cannot be any darkness or fear, because it's like we have approached the brilliant sun. And when all this is possible, when we are giving complete surrenders, just like Uddhava. Uddhava says that in return for his insignificant surrender, Krishna mercifully bestowed upon him the transcendental knowledge. And he considered himself as his servant. Therefore, any devotee of Krishna who has any gratitude can never give up lotus feet of Krishna and think of anything else as shelter for himself. This is very, very important. Complete surrenderance and taking shelter of lotus feet of Krishna. And then Uddhava explains further that whatever Vyas is finding because of affection for his families, which was there because of the illusory energy of Krishna, was cut off due to the transcendental knowledge of the self. So now, today that we have understood this knowledge as well, we should also strive to cut off our findings and bond to the other family members. And we have to have undeviating attachment in personality of Godhead and his lotus feet. With this, Krishna became very, very pleased. And since he gave the order to Uddhava to go to Badrikashram, purify himself in the holy water there. The holy water is definitely the Ganga out there, Alaknanda, which comes from the feet, the toe of the Krishna. And then he asked him to do penances because it was there in Death Yuga, so that he can become tolerant of dualities, become good natured, become self controlled, peaceful, get endowed with transcendental knowledge and realization. Fix attention and meditate upon the instructions of Krishna, assimilate their essence. Fix all the words and thoughts upon Krishna, endeavor to increase realization of Krishna's transcendental qualities, and thus cross beyond the destinations of the three modes of nature and go back home, back to Godhead. In Kali Yuga, you don't have to do such high penances. What is simply required is following the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga, which is Harinam Sankirtan. Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva Nasteva Gatiranyatha. So we follow the Harinam Sankirtan system to achieve all the benefits what Uddhava was asked to obtain. If our intelligence is destroyed by the suffering of the material life, it can get liberated when we start complete surrenderance to Krishna. We have to always be in the service of Krishna, get free from influence of material dualities, and be happy always. So Uddhava was distraught because finally he was leaving the company of Krishna, and there cannot be any greater pain than that of leaving Krishna aside. And so, with deep pain in his heart, with Krishna in his complete consciousness, he had gone to Badrikashram, did the austerities, and thus became suitable to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, what we also need to remember here is that this nectarian knowledge, which comprises the entire ocean of spiritual bliss, was spoken by Krishna, who is devotee. And that is why, if you are a devotee, Krishna reveals himself to us. Swayameva Smrute Vadaha. That is what Krishna has been doing always. So we should offer our obeisances to him. He is the original, he is the greatest of all beings. He is the author of the Vedas. And just to destroy the devotee's fear of material existence, he has collected this nectarian essence of all knowledge and self realization and awarded it to his devotees. And we are very lucky that Srila Prabhupada, he has made it so simple for us to understand and defined a process by which we can always be successful. So the example given here was that of a bee which can extract nectar from flower without harming the flower. So similarly, Krishna has extracted the essence of all Vedic knowledge without disturbing the elaborate system of Vedic advancement. So just Krishna establishes himself as the goal of Vedic knowledge, and that is what we have to understand. Shukdev Goswami also concludes by offering his obeisances to spiritual master of the entire universe, Lord Shri Krishna. So let us always be in association. Let us continue these scriptural readings. Let us be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.